Hi there, I'm Pastor John Longworth, the pastor of Good Shepherd Lutheran Church here in Rutland, Vermont. I'd like to thank you for joining us today for the Rutland Meals Challenge. We're going to package 40,000 meals for our local friends and neighbors. These meals will be distributed to small pantries all over the county, as well as to our partner, the Vermont Food Bank, who will keep distribution local and will provide meals to families all over our area. Before we get started, I'd like to go over both some safety regulations and also give you some opportunity to see everything that gets done at the Meals Challenge table. That way, when you arrive at your table, you can be ready to start as soon as you arrive. It's really important we're handling food. That means that we want to keep everything clean and safe. Once you leave this training area, you need to stop in the library. Don't worry, there'll be a large sign in the hallway to point the way, and go into the sanitation station. Also, if you need a bathroom break before you begin your shift, do it now, because every time you take a bathroom break, you will need to return to the sanitation station and redo all of the steps. In the food preparation station, you will need to wear your gloves, your hairnet, and your beard net at all times. The only exception to this rule is that volunteers who are only moving sealed boxes can take their gloves off for the purposes of operating the hand truck safely. Everyone else must keep on gloves, beard net if appropriate, and their hairnet. This yellow funnel is the centerpiece of our operation. Everything that happens at the far end of the table happens around this yellow funnel. This is the collector that helps ensure all the food ends up where it's supposed to. The first volunteer responsibility is the bag person. You have to make sure that your bag has an expiration sticker in the lower corner. If your bag just has an empty white square, make sure that someone provides your table with some expiration stickers to add to the bags. This bag is labeled macaroni and cheese. That means it should only be used at a macaroni and cheese table. Open the bag from the end that opens up and take one of these white plastic cheese packets. This contains both the powdered cheese for the cheese sauce as well as all of the nutrients and vitamins that make this meal a complete meal. Add the cheese to the bag before you put it to the funnel. The bags are a little too big to fit down the chute. Finally, hold the bag under the funnel, making sure that the opening of the bag is completely surrounding the funnel, and hold it there until all of your other teammates have finished scooping food down the chute. Once the bag is full, you can take it away and put it with the open end upright in the white bucket. This puts the bag in a position where the people working the weigh stations can easily grab the next bag, weigh them, and adjust them as necessary. The scooping stations. This is where the action is at. If you're looking for a volunteer responsibility that involves doing the same thing again and again, this could be a great station for you. When we prepare mac and cheese dinners, we want to make sure that we put the cheese and the soy flour near the bottom of the bag. That's so that the weigh station can adjust using extra or taking out macaroni. If you're working at the soy flour station, you'll need this scoop. It has a round opening and a short handle. They're all clear plastic. When you scoop your soy, make sure that you get a rounded spoonful. Put it down the chute into the basket. Make sure the soy flour goes in first. The macaroni will be used to adjust the weight later. If you're working the macaroni station, you'll need 2 measuring cups, which will be provided. Fill them to level full. And once the soy flour has been put down the chute, add macaroni. Once your package has a cheese pack, a scoop of soy flour, and 2 scoops of macaroni, it's ready to be removed from the funnel and placed in the white bucket. Now let's cover putting together a rice and beans dinner. Many of the tasks are similar, but because the ingredients are different, we need to follow a different order. The first step is always the same. You're going to need a bag. In this case, whoever's responsible for the bag station wants to make sure that they have one of the brown rice and beans bags. Please don't pack macaroni and cheese in a rice bag or vice versa. The bag opener, make sure to grab one of these small vitamin packets. Just like the cheese sauce in the macaroni and cheese dinner provided a lot of the nutrition, these vitamin packets ensure that this is a fortified meal. Open the bag from the end that opens and drop in the vitamin pack. Once the vitamin pack is in the bag, hold the bag under the chute. If you're working on the soy flour station at a rice and beans table, you're going to be scooping next, after the vitamin pack is in the bag and the bag is on the chute. For this station, you'll use this measuring cup for 1 cup at the soy flour station. Fill it level full. Once it is level full, go ahead and pour it down the chute into the bag. The second step should be the bean station. If you're working the bean station, you'll need a small measuring cup with a round opening. They're all clear plastic. You'll find one at your table. Place 1 level scoop of beans down the chute into the bag. Next comes the dried vegetables. You'll have a small red measuring spoon. Don't worry, these dehydrated vegetables puff up quite a bit when they're cooked. Take a large rounded scoop of the vegetables and put them in the yellow chute so that they end up in the bag. The last product to go into the rice and beans dinner is the rice. Again, this is because we use the grain, the rice, as the leveler. You'll use one of these large plastic cups for your rice. Fill it heaping full, but try not to spill rice everywhere. And when you're ready, go ahead and put your rice down the chute. Once the rice has been added to the bag can be pulled away from the chute and placed in the white bucket. Do your friends consider you the quiet type? Do you enjoy working with numbers? Do you like scooping rice into a bag, out of a bag, into a bag? The weigh station is the perfect spot for you. The weigh station involves taking bags that have been filled by your team out of the white bucket, weighing them using the scale provided, and once you have achieved the right weight within 4 grams one way or the other, you can take those bags and put them in the red bucket where they'll be ready for the hot sealer to do their job. When you get to your scale, press the on button. Wait for the scale to arrive at 0. If your scale is not zeroed out with the white basket on the scale, simply press the on button again. This will return your scale to 0. You want to make sure that when you're weighing, you're not including the weight of the basket in the weight of your meal kit. Simply place the meal kit with the open end up into the basket and then check the weight on the scale. A rice and beans dinner has the correct weight when there are 390 grams in the bag. Remember, you can be a little over or a little under, as much as 4 grams either way. However, should you happen to get a bag from your team that arrives with exactly the correct weight, feel free to make up your own celebration word like, Eureka! This will let your teammates know they're doing an amazing job. Once you have certified the weight of the bag, you can place it in the red bucket. If your bag is too heavy, you will be provided with a small bucket and a scoop. Use the scoop to remove either rice or noodles. Make your bag light enough to be sealed. If your bag is too light, use the extra noodles or rice that you have in your bucket. Add weight to your bag until you can confidently pass it on to the hot sealing station. If you're packaging mac and cheese in the blue bags, the correct weight for a mac and cheese package is 354 grams. Bag is at the correct weight, put it in the red bucket. I'm going to work the hot sealer station. There's 2 hot sealers at every table. This is a somewhat dangerous piece of equipment, so this is really more appropriate for an adult and not for a child. Children would be welcome to volunteer at any of the other stations on the table. Very important, you're wearing plastic gloves. Make sure you don't put your plastic gloves anywhere near the hot surface on the hot sealer. Your hot sealers will be plugged in when you begin your shift. The temperature gauge should be set to number 3. Being careful not to spill out the contents that the weigh station have carefully preserved, take your finished bag that has been weighed and checked, place the bag on the table, and line up the dotted line that says seal. Push down your hot sealer until it clicks, and wait for the light to turn off. You can then open the hot sealer, and your bag should be sealed completely shut. Once you're sure that your bag has a good seal, you'll pass it on to the last station at your table, the boxing and sorting area. At the end of every table, there's a grid. This grid will help you count up how many bags your table has finished. Once the grid has been completely covered, do a second layer. 2 layers of bags is enough to complete 1 carton. Hey, you try and trip me again, you're going down. What, you want to go? Come on, let's drop the gloves. Oh, that's not what you meant by boxing station? Oh, okay, hang on a second. By boxing station, we mean getting all the food into boxes. At the boxing station, the tape gun is your friend. This is going to be your primary tool. Use the tape gun to seal up the bottom of one of these flattened boxes. Once your box bottom has been sealed up and you're sure that there's an expiration label on the outside of your box, begin stacking your meals inside the box. You should be able to make layers of 4 until you have emptied the entire grid. 2 layers on the grid should fit in 1 carton. At your station, you'll have this yellow sheet handy. This yellow sheet is filled with wonderful rice and beans recipes provided by our chef and food specialist, Megan Hanna. Once you've put all the rice and beans meals in the box, place the recipe sheet on top. That's pretty much it. Close your box, use your friend the tape gun to seal it right up, and then set the box aside. The last step when you finish a box is to take the clipboard provided for your station. There'll be a checkoff sheet on your clipboard. Make sure you put your team name, which may be the name of your group that you're working with, or it may simply be the name of your table, table 1 for example. Every time you seal up a box and have decided and it is determined that it is finished, check off box 1. Don't worry about counting up how many meals. These checks will make it very easy to figure out how many meals have been finished by each table and by all the tables each shift. We'll always have a good running count as long as you keep checking off your boxes. I'm so glad that you could be a part of this project today, and I hope that you have a wonderful time feeding 40,000 neighbors.